An Asheboro High School graduate who was denied his diploma for wearing a Mexican flag to graduation now has it.
Escorted by his parents, 18-year-old Ever Lopez walked out of the Asheboro High School building with his diploma in hand. WFNY News 2's Adore Achumba has more on what happened. Adore.
That's right. Ever Lopez and his family walked out with that diploma in hand after days of not having it like his other classmates. Now, they spoke today at a press conference put together by Siembra NC about what happened on graduation night and at this afternoon's meeting with the principal. Now, according to Lopez, the school district held back his diploma Thursday, saying he violated the graduation dress code by draping a Mexican flag over his gown. Now, the graduation policy allows students to decorate their graduation cap and adhere to standard school dress code, but it is not explicit about flags or expressions of ethnic heritage. A school district spokesperson said Lopez's diploma has always been available for pickup since Friday, and they wished him well on his future plans.
We just stayed positive, didn't try to take it to like an extreme. We respected her, she respected us, and that's when we came to an agreement. That's what we got.
We're here not to place blame, but we're here to try to get to the bottom of, why is it that these things happen, and to try to change the root causes of this so that in the future other students can have more liberty of expression and be able to express their roots and their ethnicities.
Now, a school district spokesperson said that the school district strongly supports students' expression of their heritage at the appropriate time and place. But they do say that they will reevaluate that policy in light of this incident. In the meantime, Asheboro police is investigating threatening emails, nearly a dozen of them, sent to school officials.
Adore, thank you. Western Guilford seniors celebrated their big achievement today, but there were some sad moments as well. The class of 2021 recognized Krista Smith, a student who passed away back in November. Krista was planning to go to App State to study nursing. It was an emotional moment as 3 family members walked on stage to get her diploma as people in the crowd clapped for them. Even though school is out for the summer meal programs will continue. Guilford County Schools will start handouts tomorrow. They're available Monday through Thursday from 11 to noon. Students will get an extra meal on Thursday to cover Friday. Food will be on hand at several schools, and the Meals by Bus program will run to help families who don't have transportation. Winston-Salem Forsyth County will serve meals at 23 locations from 11 to 1. Text the word food to 877-877 for information on mobile meal sites.
Well, it's time to talk about a forecast that is not changing. We might see maybe a 4-degree, maybe 5-degree difference in any day in our 7-day forecast. We are consistently locked in to this summertime forecast. And you look at the numbers, mid-80s for the most part, some upper 80s around the Tri. In Winston-Salem, you have 87, Greensboro, Burlington, 86. We have 89 in High Point, 85 in Lexington. These temperatures just a slight little smidge above where we should be. 83 thereabouts, the normal high, so not too far off the mark, but the humidity is oppressive. I mean, we're talking about, it's almost like tropical humidity that we have. And anytime you step out, it just hits you right in the face. 69 for the low tonight, mostly cloudy skies. We do have a chance of a storm or two. In the short term, it's more likely in the mountain foothill communities, but everybody will have a shot as we go into the evening. Tomorrow up to 84, mostly cloudy, and again, late day thunderstorms. Get used to that forecast. It's stuck with us for a while. You can see some of the showers moving in. By the way, that is a severe thunderstorm warning, but that's back up toward Tennessee. And all of this is lifting north and east. So Wilkes County and also maybe Allegheny, Yadkin in the next little bit, you're in line for a shower or a storm as well. And you can see it's generally unsettled across the southeast as this pattern just continues. Here's your forecast with 84 tomorrow, so a little bit cooler, we'll take it. Rain chances lock in around 40% until we get to the end of our 7-day, then a 30%. But 87, 88, and 87, that's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, so all upper 80s there, mid 80s on Saturday. And we get closer to normal, hovering around that 84-degree mark for Sunday and Monday as we end the weekend and start next week.
All right, thanks, Eric. Let's get to your headlines with your 4 to 5 roundup. The North Carolina House passed a measure last week allowing people with concealed carry permits to have their gun on at churches that meet on private school campuses. The Religious Assembly Security and Protection Act expands a person's ability to defend themselves while attending religious ceremonies and worship at locations that also have a school. Congressman Jeff McNeely said allowing guns on school campus doesn't mean anyone in the congregation is actually carrying a weapon or using it, and explains this is a step towards public safety. The bill now heads to the Senate. Fisher-Price is recalling 2 infant glider products after the deaths of 4 children. The company said all 4 infant deaths involve the 4-in-1 Rock and Glide soothers, but the company is also recalling its 2-in-1 Soothe and Glide play gliders because of a suffocation risk. The U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission reports the infants were placed on their backs, unrestrained, in the gliders and were later found on their stomachs. These items were sold at Walmart, Target, and Amazon. Vice President Kamala Harris is discussing illegal immigration issues with the president of Guatemala. The country's president says the biggest factor of illegal immigration is the economy. He explains he and Vice President Harris agree there is a problem, but they're still working on how to address it. The Guatemalan president wants the U.S. to make human trafficking a top issue and possibly declare traffickers federal criminals. Vice President Harris is set to travel to Mexico tomorrow to meet with its president.
Our state's coronavirus hospitalization number continues to improve. Today, the state says there are 546 North Carolinians in the hospital with the virus. It's 67 fewer than last Friday when I shared this number. You know, I always like to go back and show you the last time we saw a number this low, and I keep having to go back further and further. Now we haven't seen a number this low since mid-May, more than a year ago.
And the North Carolina Zoo is changing its COVID vaccine clinic dates. The clinic will now be this weekend from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. as part of the Bring Back Summer campaign. The original dates were the 10th through the 12th. The clinic is offering the Pfizer and Johnson & Johnson vaccine. And remember, if you get a vaccine at the zoo, you'll also get 1 free ticket for a trip to the zoo as well. Davidson County will give out the Pfizer and Moderna vaccine this week. Clinics will be from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. These are walk-in clinics, which means you don't need to schedule an appointment. Clinics will be at the Southmont Fire Department and the West Davidson Public Library.
The Yadkin County Health Department will be giving out the Johnson & Johnson vaccine on Friday. The clinic is from 1 to 4 at the County Medical Clinic on West Maple Street. Book an appointment at yadkincountync.gov.
More than 40 chefs across North Carolina are competing for the title of Top Chef. It's all a part of the 5th annual 2021 Chef Showdown hosted by the North Carolina Restaurant and Lodging Association, better known as the NCRLA. Organizers tell me the competition highlights North Carolina agriculture and hospitality.
7 chefs from across the Triad took turns in the kitchen of Bobby Boy's Bake Shop in Winston-Salem Monday morning.
Pastry coming in.
All competing in the 2021 NCRLA Chef Showdown.
So it is a statewide competition from chefs across the state of North Carolina. They promote their restaurants, they promote what they do, and they promote North Carolina agriculture.
Food and travel writer Heidi Bellato helps to organize the competition every year.
He's also an executive chef.
She says Winston-Salem is the 3rd of 4 preliminary rounds happening across the state.
In this preliminary round, they prepare 1 dish, 4 plates of 1 dish that they present to a panel of 3 judges. And it is them, that chef, on a plate featuring North Carolina ingredients.
Competitors are judged on presentation, taste, as well as the best use of Carolina ingredients. David Swing with Young Cardinal Cafe and Company in Winston-Salem was the first to present during this preliminary round.
Once again, after the pandemic and the year we've all been through, how important it is to, have friendly competition and support local. This one here is our...
Based on judges' scores, 20 chefs from all 4 preliminary rounds of the competition will move on to the regional level for a chance of Chef of the Year and Pastry Chef of the Year.
It is so important to highlight the work of all the culinary talent that we have in this state.
Well, it will be another week or so before those who presented today find out if they make it to the top 20 in the state and move on to the regional level. Now, we couldn't shoot close-ups of the dishes presented today, but on August 9th, the public will be able to sample all of the dishes of the top 20 chefs at an event in Durham, and I'll have all that information on our website, WFNYnews2.com.
Now that's something that I can get on board with, going and trying all that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually got to try one of the dishes presented today. Again, I couldn't get a close-up of it or tell you exactly what it was, but it was absolutely delicious using all those North Carolina ingredients as well.
Seems like their March Madness of chefs, right? Because you got to go through all these different rounds, and then what happens at the end?
So at the end, after these 4 preliminary rounds, the next one is next week in Raleigh. They will go on to the top 20, and then from there they'll have the top chef and top pastry chef, and then in August there'll just be one big event open to the public for everyone just to sample all the different dishes.
I am so impressed with people who know how to cook well.
Yes.
Or bake well. I'm not really. Do you have a flour thumb?
I'm not really a baker. I can do more savory foods. Like I'm really good at salmon. I have that like topped and tacos, but I'm not really good at baking. I mean, I've never baked from scratch.
Sure, me neither. No, I'm good if Harris Teeter will prepare a meal and it's raw, and then I just have to throw it in the oven or throw it on the grill. I'm really good at that.
Yes, I've seen you do that.
A lot.
Well, maybe we'll have to go in August so we can try out some of those great foods.
That would be awesome.
All right, we'll be right back. When working towards manifesting your dream, there comes a time when all dreamers, they grow tired of the pursuit of consider giving up.
Right, and Coach Lamont shares a story today about a fox and the lesson that every dreamer has to hear.
If you really want something, is it worth walking away from things because they get tough? How many people walked away from great ideas because it took too long to achieve them? One afternoon, a fox was walking through the forest and spotted a bunch of grapes hanging from a branch. Just the thing to quench my thirst, he thought to himself. Taking a few steps back, the fox jumped and missed the hanging grapes. Again, the fox took a few paces back and tried to reach again, but still failed. Finally giving up, the fox turned up his nose and said, "They're probably sour anyway," and just proceeded to walk away. The moral of this story, my friend, is simply this: quitting will cause you to despise the very thing you have been working towards. If one way doesn't work, try another way. Your dreams are waiting on you. How high are you willing to jump to get it? This is Coach Lamont reminding you to have your best you day. I'll see you tomorrow.
I love that. If one way doesn't work, try another way.
Right.
I think so many times we just have to adjust. I know I'm someone that likes to be in control of a situation, but sometimes you just got to take a step back, just work hard and just trust that everything's going to work out.
Do you know, there's this thing, and I would say that it's among young millennials, because
Okay.
I hadn't heard of it until a couple of months ago, but there's this thing called manifesting, where you take an idea or something that you're
Okay.
working toward and you just write it down over and over and over again on a piece of paper. Have you heard of that?
I haven't heard of that as manifesting, but I've actually done things like that. You know, just I will do this, or I am this, or just writing out goals in general.
Right, or like a vision board. I've never done one of
Yes.
those. Do you?
Stay tuned for my 2 cents is about my vision board I made
Really?
this year. Yes.
How perfect.
It was my first time ever doing it, and it's therapeutic, and it really is good just to get your ideas and your dreams on paper.
Nice, that's cool. I'll be looking forward to that. Hey, Eric.
All right, we're going to look at temperatures, starting things out, and you know, we're a little warm. I mean, it's 2 or 3 degrees above normal, not that bad. 86 right now in the Triad, 86 in Raleigh as well. You go to the higher elevations, they've dropped down to 73 in Boone, 77 in Asheville. Wilmington's at 87. Now, if you factor in the humidity, it feels like 90 in Winston-Salem and Martinsville, 91 in Danville, Albemarle to the south. 93. That's a feels like index, not an actual temperature. Hour by hour heading into the evening by, we'll still see those showers and thunderstorms. We think by 9 to 10 o'clock, some of it will die out and we're looking at just clouds. We'll hold some overnight lows. I actually think we'll make it down to maybe the upper 60s, but some of you may just see some lower 70s. Thunderstorms are rolling in from the west and south, moving into the Wilkesboro area and maybe Boone right now as we speak, so get ready for that. It'll be moving through Yadkin, Davie, Surrey, and Allegheny, Ash, and Watauga also in the next probably hour, maybe even less than that, 40 minutes or so. We'll keep an eye on that, and we go zoom out to a wider shot. You see, we're not quite finished with this tonight, and of course, that southerly flow to the winds, bringing the late day storms every day in our 7-day forecast. It just doesn't change a whole lot. 7-day looks like this, that 40% chance, 30 to 40, let's say, every day in the 7-day. Mid-80s tomorrow, upper 80s Wednesday through Friday, and mid-80s through your weekend and into Monday.
All right, let's see. All right. Yep, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Well, now that more people are vaccinated and restrictions are lifting, some people are eager to reconnect with others, and that includes dating. Blanca Cobb joins us to talk about getting back into the dating world at this time. So what should people think about before jumping right on into the dating scene?
That's a great question. You have to think about expectations. Realize that there are going to be some people who are just dying to meet other people, but they want to keep it casual. They're not looking for anything serious. Where other people have time to reflect during this past year of lockdown and really think about what they want in a partner, that they want companionship, they want a life partner so they can handle these bumpy roads together. So there could be a mismatch. So that's why you should keep your expectations low until you find out what the other person wants.
Awesome. So, some people might feel a little socially awkward from being isolated so long during quarantine or staying inside. What kind of tips would you give to help ease some of that anxiety?
A lot of people will probably have some anxiety, but here's the deal. Realize that you're not alone. Others are going to feel the same way or very similar. So think about an icebreaker. I mean, one thing is just called, what's that saying, the elephant in the corner, right? So you can just say, hey, you know what? It's great being out, but it's a little weird, don't you think? And just let them talk, or think about things that everyone is going to have in common. More than likely, almost everyone has watched some kind of show this past year. So you can ask them, did you binge on any shows, any particular shows you watched? You can share, talk about it, or even talk about what they're looking forward to do now that the restrictions are lifted. Are they looking forward to traveling? Are they looking forward to attending concert? It just gives you some commonality, things to talk about. And then also, you want to walk, so you want to change locations. So if you're in a restaurant, then just go walking afterwards, or go for a walk first before you go and get coffee. When you're nervous and you're walking, you're helping release some of that anxiety as you're walking, and you're going to get more comfortable.
Okay, great. Icebreakers, that's always a great thing. So how might body language be different on dates in our post-pandemic world?
What can happen initially is people are just not sure. They're going to be very tentative or subtle in their body language. So what that might look like is they might start to reach out and then they pull their hand back, because it's customary, if they are a touchy person, that they might touch your arm or touch your hand, right? They might not be sure how close to walk beside you or sit beside you, so it can be a little bit awkward. Sometimes they might pull away with motion, not because of you, it's just they're trying to get used to this post-pandemic dating world, because if nonverbal communication was really important to them in terms of touch or proximity, they're going to have to adjust it to make sure that you're comfortable. So don't misinterpret. Look and see what happens.
Well, these are some great points. Definitely a hot topic among my friend group. Thanks so much for joining us, Blanca. And if you miss any of this, you can find it on our website, WFNYnews2.com.
Mic check, 1, 2, 3. Mic check, 4 to 5. Mic check, 1, 2.
No doubt you either used one of these or you use one now. Yeah, it's a VHS tape, and it goes in a VCR.
Well, it's National VCR Day, and Brian, you're going to help us pay homage to this icon.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. I mean, the memories, right? But anyway, we'll talk about that after this, all right? So listen, National VCR Day. Obviously, this is a little tidbit here. 10 billion videotapes still out there today. Wonder where they are. Let's go ahead and go to the next here. It says National VCR Day. I miss VCRs and VHS tapes. All right, now this one I kind of loved as well. It says, yeah, you read that right. Remember those? They look big and bulky now, but when they were new, they were a marvel of technology. Kind of hard to believe, right? But anyway, magnetic tapes, and you could actually record live TV. We're going to keep it rolling here with TMNT. You know what that is, Chad?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
You got it, man. National VCR Day, dudes. I definitely had the first one, the one in the black,
Right.
all right? And I think we have one more. I loved this one right here. This is Collie. You know, he actually drives and watches movies as well, in case you didn't know. He said, yesterday, I took the car to the drive-in movie, and today I'm ready for my annual VCR movie marathon with my collection of hashtag James Bond 007 VHS tapes to celebrate National VCR Day. Gotta love it. You gotta love it.
I don't know about you guys, but I remember the biggest two problems with the VCR and the VHS. One is that somebody taped over your favorite show or your favorite movie because they weren't looking to see which one they put in there. Or the other one, remember when the tape would get
messed up. That happened to me.
And then you pull it out and your favorite movie is just
ruined.
Cinderella with Brandy. I don't know if you remember that movie. I watched it every day after school to the point where it got all tangled. I was so devastated, but my dad fixed it. But during the ball scene, it's always fuzzy when it plays back.
That's a shame.
But I mean, that's what makes it so great, right? I mean, if you didn't have that, you wouldn't have the little tiffs with your family members and stuff to remember. I just remember recording music videos and stuff like that on the, you know, because you had to literally wait. There's no TiVo, so you know.
Off of TRL.
Yeah, exactly. Like, okay, hit record. Please record. All right, so good times.
I'm a little older than you guys, but so for when we apply for TV jobs, we have to make what's called a resume tape. My first resume tape was on a VHS.
Mine was on YouTube. What about yours?
Oh yeah. You know what? I think
Probably online.
Yeah,
Mine was online.
Probably. Yeah, I think it was like the mini was the DVDs.
Okay, yeah.
So
Nice.
I'm not that modern.
I guess I'm
and not that
the baby of the group then.
We'll be right back.
I said a microphone check, microphone check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Welcome back to your 45. Lauren Coleman, Larry Chilton, and Chad Burr.
Check it. Check microphone. Lauren, I just queued up the ballroom scene for you so you can watch.
Hey there, Oklahoma, Oregon, Pennsylvania, hi Facebook people, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas.
Well, welcome back to your 4 to 5. I'm Lauren Coleman here with Eric Chilton and Chad Silber. Great to have you at the table today.
Thank you. Filling in today and tomorrow for Maddie Gardner. So we're going to have some fun as we always do. Eric Chilton, you're outside, and what I have really just come up with an acronym called STS, the Summertime Swelter.
That's true, and it's not going anywhere. Going to stick around for a while. Yeah, this looks like we are stuck in that pattern. And you know, if you've lived here any length of time, you know what it is. It's kind of a partly cloudy day, clouding up in the afternoon and evening with scattered, isolated showers and storms where literally your neighbor might get rain and you don't get anything. And that's kind of what we're dealing with. It will be moving into the mountain and foothill communities first and then developing through the triad after that. I guess the big question is everybody wants to know, we're talking severe or just normal thunderstorms? This is more of a normal summertime thunderstorm pattern. We may see a severe thunderstorm warning here or there, but we don't expect anything in the way of tornadoes or anything like that. So we'll watch and wait, don't we? So a lot of our yards could use the rain, that's for sure. Temperatures for the most part, we're seeing them hover, I'd say mid 80s to about 90. We go from 86 in Greensboro to about 90 in High Point. If you head south, though, you're looking at temperatures into the lower 90s down around parts of Montgomery County. Overnight, though, after we get rid of these storms, and we'll show you the radar in a minute, we'll drop down to that 69-degree mark. That'll be tomorrow morning. It'll still be variably cloudy, right, throughout the whole day, but 84 for the high on Tuesday, and again, those late-day showers and storms. I want to show you the radar for right now. I guess what we're watching closer than anything else is just the western Piedmont, moving into Wilkes County, Surrey, Allegheny, you're next, and Yadkin as well. So keep you posted on that. No watches and warnings at this time. Our forecast, we stay between the mid 80s and upper 80s all 7 days. From about 84 to 88 would be the range of highs, and we might see a 90 there toward the middle part of the week. But every day, the late day showers and storms at about a 30 to 40% chance.
The Colorado River is experiencing what some scientists are calling a mega drought. The system provides water to 40 million people in 7 states. Officials say the nation's largest reservoir, Lake Mead, is on track to hit its lowest water level record ever recorded. The reservoir provides water for Las Vegas, Phoenix, and Southern California. Lake Mead is at 37% capacity, and officials say it hasn't been full since 2000 when water levels reached the top of the Hoover Dam. The federal government could declare a water shortage on the lower Colorado River later this summer, forcing automatic cuts to the water supply out west. An Asheboro High School graduate who wore a Mexican flag to graduation now has his diploma. Escorted by his parents, 18-year-old Ever Lopez walked out of the Asheboro High School building with his diploma in hand. They spoke at a press conference set up by the Siembra NC about what happened on graduation night and at this afternoon's meeting with the principal. According to Lopez, the school district held back his diploma Thursday, saying he violated the graduation dress code by draping a Mexican flag over his gown. Now, the graduation policy allows students to decorate their graduation caps and adhere to standard school dress code, but it is not explicit about flags or expressions of ethnic heritage. A school district spokesperson said Lopez's diploma has been available for pickup since Friday and wished him well on his future plans. The district says it strongly supports students' expression of their heritage in the appropriate time and place. The district plans to reevaluate its policy in light of this incident. Well, the FDA has approved the first new drug for Alzheimer's disease in nearly 20 years. Some are calling it a victory for loved ones and families battling this disease.
Yeah, but critics question if there was enough evidence to approve the drug.
This is a new type of treatment for Alzheimer's disease. Biogen's aducanumab is given by infusion every 4 weeks, and researchers say it targets the disease in a way that's never been done before. The Alzheimer's Association calls the FDA's approval historic for patients and their families.
It treats the underlying course of the disease. Amyloid is the sticky plaque that clogs up the brain. By removing that, it is assumed that the individual will have clinical benefit and improvements in cognitive decline.
6 million Americans are currently living with Alzheimer's disease in the U.S. Until now, other Alzheimer's drugs only manage symptoms.
This treatment ushers in a new era in Alzheimer's treatments. And we know that a first-in-class drug invigorates the treatment pipeline overall.
The decision to approve the drug comes despite objections from the FDA's independent panel of neurological experts. The Food and Drug Administration is not required to follow their advice. Dr. Caleb Alexander is an FDA advisor who recommended against the drug's approval.
I think the jury is still out on whether it works, and there's a clear standard that manufacturers have to meet in order to gain market access. And in this instance, I think that the evidence is still quite murky as to the safety and especially the effectiveness of this product.
The FDA is requiring the drug maker to conduct a follow-up study to confirm benefits for patients. The FDA could pull the drug from the market if the study fails to show effectiveness.
A dozen retailers are collaborating, asking customers to help them stop bad behavior against retail workers. The campaign includes Gap and H&M and comes as more workers deal with harassment over enforcing social distancing or mask policies. Organizers say the campaign does not want customers to step in physically, rather asking them to help de-escalate the situation and show support for workers. Now, retailers will have signs posted in stores with QR codes that customers can sign to pledge support. They can also learn how to de-escalate a situation in which someone is attacking an employee. Now, even as restrictions ease, retailers worry employees will face more harassment as larger crowds return to stores. I hate that this has to be a thing.
Yeah, exactly. I'm all about supporting, the employees and being there, but how do you feel about someone intervening or even saying something these days? Sometimes people, even if you say, hey, don't do that, they get a little offended and they could come after you.
Right, absolutely. So I think it's important that they'll have these QR codes where you can learn how to de-escalate a situation. But yeah, I mean, for someone who it doesn't want to get in a confrontation themselves, I mean, doing that can be risky in their eyes.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but I kind of wish that rules would be similar to where they are at the airport. I mean, everybody knows that you have to wear a mask at the airport and you have to wear it while you're flying. And if you don't, you could face a federal fine, a federal penalty.
Yikes.
So I was flying last weekend and nobody questioned it. Everybody did what they had to do because they know it was the rule and they knew that the punishment was severe. So maybe it's just some of these stores or some of these cities or towns need to implement something like a harsh punishment if you don't follow certain rules.
People definitely won't question it then, or if we can all just kind of get on one page. It is so confusing right now with some stores doing it, some not.
And I think we're just in this phase right now where it's kind of the transition phase. Hopefully, though, it'll eventually be over and we don't have to talk about this anymore.
Fingers crossed. All right, well, if you are looking for work, there's a hiring event this week. NC Works of Guilford County will host an in-person event Thursday from 10 to 2 p.m. at the Career Center on West Meadowview Road. Employers will include the Greensboro Fire Department, Allied Universal, TRC Staffing Services, and Camco Manufacturing. Talk to employers about available positions, wanted skills, and interview process. To register for the event on the Guilford County Works website, we have all those details there. Well, Simone Biles sticks the landing with her 7th U.S. title Sunday night. The gymnastics all-star is on track to become the first woman to win back-to-back Olympic championships in more than 50 years. Biles recorded her highest all-around score since 2018. The gymnast stepped out of her bounds on her floor routine 3 times Friday, but was more accurate in finals.
Hey everybody, thank you for thinking with me. Thank you for praying with me. Congrats, all of you have on the win. We love you guys. Bye.
Such a cute video. Former Carolina Panther tight end Greg Olsen's son, TJ, is saying thank you for all the support following his heart transplant last week. TJ was born with a congenital heart condition. He went through 3 open heart surgeries and lived with a modified heart for the first 8 years of his life. Greg Olsen and his family launched what they called the Hardest Yard Foundation after TJ's birth. The group has raised millions of dollars for pediatric heart research and treatment in Charlotte. TJ is now recovering after getting a transplant on Friday.
Oh, love it.
That video is so great.
Yes.
It's so heartwarming. I know a lot of people had reached out to Greg Olsen over social media offering their support. I just can't imagine going through something like that as a family.
Yeah, exactly. And I just love that this highlights the importance of organ donation. We see a lot of these stories and a lot of people, as I said before when we talk about these, they're on these lists for years, months. So I'm glad that he was able to find a match.
And the story last Friday about LJ,
Yeah.
the guy who just graduated high school after receiving a heart transplant. And what I loved about that story is that he wears a necklace
Yes.
with the girl whose heart he got with her name on it as a constant reminder of the sacrifice that she made and that her family made for him to be able to continue his dreams and continue his life.
Yeah, I love that as well, because these organ donors are giving people a second chance at life.
Absolutely. All right, we'll be right back. We're on Facebook. Come say hello.
Yeah, come hang out with us.
More people are booking flights this summer as restrictions ease, and when you're on the go, you might grab a snack at the airport before boarding. But have you ever noticed the taste of that food is different mid-flight? There's a strange reason, and our Verify team found it.
We've all been there. You're on a plane and the child behind you is kicking your seat. The person next to you is cramming your legroom.
But there's hope, because you bought a snack for the airplane ride. Now, if you eat it here on the ground, it's gonna taste amazing, but, excuse me, they're bland.
So if you've ever felt food taste differently when you're on a plane, you're not alone. A recent tweet went viral after it showed a screenshot claiming humidity levels in a pressurized plane cabin make food taste worse in the air than on the ground.
So let's verify. Does flying on an airplane affect how we taste food?
Our sources: the Carey Health and Nutrition Institute, the Alimentarium Food Museum, the World Health Organization, and Dr. Paul Breslin, member of the Monell Chemical Senses Center and professor in the Department of Nutritional Sciences at Rutgers University. The Alimentarium states that our perception of flavor is influenced by a combination of smell, taste, and touch.
So our sense of taste isn't the only thing that can impact how we feel about food. In fact, our sense of smell might be the biggest factor.
When the air is less humid, our noses are less sensitive. The World Health Organization states that humidity in aircrafts is typically less than 20%, which is drier than the 30% or higher we're used to in our homes. That reduced sense of smell from the lower humidity directly hinders the brain's ability to process food, according to the Carey Health Institute. Dr. Breslin said that while we do retain some sense of taste and smell in the air, flying on a plane does diminish our senses enough to impact our experience with what we eat. He agreed that loss of smell has a greater impact on a food's flavor than any of our other senses. LSG Sky Chefs, a company that provides food for airlines, says it adds varying amounts of seasoning and oils to its meals to try to compensate for the taste discrepancy. So what does it take to make food naturally enjoyable in flight? Dr. Breslin says not even NASA knows, claiming astronauts have the same complaints as we do due to nasal congestion in outer space. So we can verify, yes, flying on a plane does impact how we taste food. So the next time you fly, you may want to consider eating in the terminal before boarding the flight.
I'm trying to figure out now, thinking back, does food taste differently on a plane? And I can't think of an instance where I've thought about that.
Same, but I think the next time I fly, I'm definitely going to be thinking about it more after seeing that package.
And how interesting that they talked to the company that provides the food, and they say that they add more spices and more seasonings to offset the fact that the flavor is different.
I think it's interesting to show how all our senses are so connected, because I was reading about as well, it said the noise of the plane can also affect how we taste.
That's crazy.
So that's so interesting to me. I get the sense of smell and the taste, but the hearing part, that's interesting to me.
The serious question now, are you a pretzels, peanuts, or cookies girl?
I'm all three.
Need all three? I love
greedy.
all three. See, but you know what? But I always feel bad asking for all three.
I don't. You don't want yours? I'll take it. That's what I say to the person. When they're asleep and they pass them, I say, I'll take theirs.
You're like, oh, that's my sister. I'm just gonna grab her. I'll grab her. I'll give them to her when she wakes up.
Exactly.
Wow. Don't ever fall asleep on a plane next to Lauren Coleman. We'll be right back.
Taking snacks. Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2 3 4. I can't do the fancy North Carolina, Idaho, Texas.
I didn't learn that. At first, I told you when I first started and was watching you all on the live stream, I thought y'all were playing.
Hi there. What does that Julie look like? I hear she's a real special lady, Miss Tasha. I hear she is a horrible human being.
Trending online today, a viral tweet that's got a lot of people talking. So the topic at hand, why doesn't today's generation go outside?
Brian, you actually scoured through some of the responses and people had some interesting thoughts.
Yeah, they did. One of the main ones, well, we'll get to that at the end, so you guys have to wait and see, all right? So let's go ahead and jump into it. Obviously, this was the question that was posed. Why doesn't today's generation go outside? Let's go ahead and go to the next comment there. Yeah, he says, I think stranger danger is the bigger thing, a bit less intense now, but the generation raising kids now was raised on Law and Order and a million warnings about pedos everywhere. So that was interesting, right? So this next one says, literally, I couldn't go outside by myself until I was like a pre-teen, and even then my parents were watching me like a hawk, as they should, you know. Kristen says, people drive down our street at 40 miles per hour without looking for kids. That's why my kids don't go outside often. I believe this is Bernie. He says, I feel the need to point out fun places like arcades still exist. The problem, at least for us, is that a lot of them have become 21 plus. They're slowly taking away things for teens to do because adults want alcohol in every place they can think of. I thought that was interesting, although arcades are normally like on the inside, right? But,
yeah.
And lastly, I thought this one was cool. It says, they have the world at their fingertips in their pocket. No other generation grew up with instant access to connect with one or thousands of people across the planet. Really, it's that simple. And I agree. I do believe it's technology. I mean, you have literally the world at your hands. We used to have to go outside and imagine we were on the boat, or imagine, you know, we were a warrior playing in a video game or something like that, and they can just literally
hop in or put the Oculus Rift, so you could be like in the game.
Oculus Rift.
Yeah, Oculus Rift.
I've never even heard that
yeah,
term.
it's actually 3D gaming.
Yeah, I tried one out before. It was kind of cool.
So I think it also depends on where you grow up. So I grew up in a very small town, rural town, where, you know, outside of my house, you step outside, you don't see any neighbors. It's just all trees. Okay. And so I think that my parents felt more safe allowing me to go outside because there aren't people around, you know, like that one comment said stranger danger. I mean, there was no strangers to be in danger. But yeah, I think just, you know, but then again, my mom, when she would get annoyed with us, she'd say, go play outside. Yeah. And then that's what you did.
We played outside a lot too, whether it was riding bikes or playing basketball in the front yard, but my parents just kept an eye on us. I remember one time I did ride my bike without asking, and I got in a lot of trouble. So we always had to have like some type of supervision.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, our parents, grandparents, they kicked us out the house. Like, get out the kitchen, go outside, you know? And then when you tried to come in and go back out, they're like, you're letting all that good AC out, so you need to choose one.
Or did your parents used to say you smell like outside?
Yes, all the time. You smell like outside.
My mom would be like, you smell like outside. Go take a shower.
That's great. You know who one guy who's outside all the time is Eric Chilton.
Oh yeah. Let's go check it.
Wait, that's because I'm forced. I'm out here outside in the 88-degree weather in a suit. Why didn't I wear a golf shirt today? Because I'm not smart. All right, yeah, you better be glad I wasn't at the table, guys, because we would have gone into the 5 o'clock news and the producer would have killed me, so I have opinions. Let's see what's going on with the rain. We've got to watch showers and thunderstorms as they make their way through, getting closer to us. So Mocksville, get ready. In Davie County, I think you're going to see that rain next 35, 40 minutes or so. It's already moving through Wilkes County. Ashe County, Jefferson, West Jefferson, and over to Sparta are getting light rain right now. It looks like the way it's kind of presenting itself is that a lot of this, the heavier stuff, may be moving through the heart of the triad within the hour or so, if not a little bit less. So get ready, because we're seeing some sunshine here in the center of the triad, but that will change as that one system moves through. Now we have more behind that, but they'll be scattered and not quite as strong as what we're seeing right now as we head into the evening, hopefully getting out of here by about 8 or 9. Forecast is simple. Partly cloudy during the day, then late day storms and showers scattered, not severe in nature, but mid to upper 80s for the next 7 days solid.
Coming up on WFMY News 2 at 5 o'clock, parents are questioning safety at GCS schools after 8 people are accused of attacking a student in class. A $10 million bond to improve safety was approved years ago, but the district has only gotten a portion of the money. Why? The superintendent weighs in at 5 o'clock.
approved a $10 million security bond to make Guilford County schools safer.
Hey there, mic check 1 2 3 4, live from the wood shop.
Hi there, Oklahoma, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Utah.
Callie got a new home. Callie got a new home.
Mic check 321, mic check 321. Ever Lopez and his family walked out of the school behind me earlier today.
It's time for my 2 cents. It's June, which means we are 6 months into the year, almost halfway through 2021. This also means we still have a good amount of time to accomplish any goals we may have set at the beginning of the year. This year, I made a vision board for the first time ever. Clipping through dozens of magazines, it took me about 7 hours to make. I made some of the typical resolutions: weight loss, physical fitness, create a budget, travel, but I also had more specific goals. Study a new language, practice self-care, adopt a puppy. I've done a good job of keeping up with some of my targets, but I have slacked on a few. It's been about 5 weeks since I used my language learning mobile app, but you know what? That's okay. Now is a time to take a step back and reevaluate any of the goals you may have made at the beginning of the year. Try creating a checklist of ways you can better accomplish your goals. For me, I plan to use my language learning mobile app for about 15 minutes at least 3 days a week. I will continue to meal prep and try to limit eating out to only 2 days a week, and I will find an ample amount of time for daily meditation and prayer. As for adopting a puppy this year, with moving to a new city and starting a new job, I realize this may not be feasible, but I will continue to make strides to accomplish that goal. Goals are meant to keep us motivated. As long as you're giving it your best shot, that's what matters most. That's my 2 cents. That's your 4 to 5. WFMY News 2 at 5 starts now.
Days after a high school graduation ceremony, an Asheboro High School grad gets his diploma. The school said what he was wearing was a dress code violation.